14 wickets fall on day one as Derbyshire collapse again at Grace Road. Both teams had started their campaigns with 1 win, 1 defeat and 1 draw so far and found themselves in the bottom half of the table at the start of round 5. Derbyshire had to bounce back from a damaging home defeat by Glamorgan last week. Derbyshire won the toss and decided to bat, but the Leicestershire bowlers found their length straight away and runs were hard to come by. Lewis Rees attempted to cut loose, but after hitting 2 fours, he was pinned to LBW by Dieter Klein. And with the score still on 24, Wright had a wicket to improve those figures further. Skipper Godleman caught by his opposite number Horton for 7. Wayne Madsen decided to attack his way out of trouble with a string of boundaries. But Tom Leics soon departed, falling to former Derbyshire bowler Will Davis. And before lunch, Mohammed Abbas got in on the act. Hughes caught behind without scoring, and Madsen appeared to be the visitors' only hope, unbeaten on 39 out of an interval score of 75 for 4. When play resumed, more of the same from Derbyshire as the procession of wickets continued. Harvey Hussain became Wright's second victim when he was LBW for 10. And 2 runs later, the hammer blow when Madsen's resistance was broken by Abbas, LBW for 47 with 10 fours. They had at least posted 3 figures when Critchley gave Abbas another success, caught by Ackerman for 8. Anuj Dal took 31 balls to score 4 runs before he fell too, Wright taking the wicket caught by Dearden. Logan Van Beek scored a little more quickly, becoming only the second man in the innings to pass 12 runs, but he lost Palladino at the other end, caught by Assad off Davis for 5. And the wickets were really shared around where Rampal was removed by Klein to end Derbyshire's innings in just 50.4 overs. 139 all out was a pretty poor effort after choosing to bat, with only Madsen making a real contribution. 3 wickets for Abbas and Wright, 2 each for Davis and Klein, and an early tea was taken on day 1, with Leicestershire already well on top. Derbyshire had to take quick wickets in the final session to get back into the contest, and Tony Palladino proved the man for the job. He bowled Horton for 10 with the final ball of his 4th over. And struck again quickly to have Atiq Javid LBW, and the home side were 14 for 2. And Derbyshire's fight back was really gathering pace when Cosgrove was removed by Rees for 7, with Madsen taking the catch. Ackerman and Azad steadied the home side, taking the total to 50, but Palladino had the last word of the day, catching Ackerman in front for 18. 55 for 4 at stumps represented a good fight back by Derbyshire's bowlers, but Leicestershire will still feel they just have the upper hand heading into day 2. Contest in the balance at Grace Road as the bowlers dominate again. Leicestershire dismissed Derbyshire for just 139, but then made hard work of their reply as 14 wickets fell on day 1. The home side closed on 55 for 4, with Tony Palladino taking 3 for 3 in 9 overs for the visitors. Not wasting the good work of their bowlers was Leicestershire's first mission on day 2, and a promising partnership started to emerge between Assad and Dearden. The latter was the aggressor, hitting 4 boundaries in his 22 before he was trapped in front by Rees. From 82 for 5, the morning took a significant turn for the worse for the home side. Logan Van Beek was their main tormentor, first having Hill caught by Madsen for 1. And then striking again with his next ball, Dieter Klein caught behind for a golden duck. Having done the damage the evening before, Palladino was soon back among the wickets. Chris Wright the next to give Hussain catching practice, and it was 92 for 8. Derbyshire's first innings score wasn't looking so modest now, but the home side did at least pass the 100 mark before they lost another man. Will Davis had added 7 singles when he was bowled by Van Beek. But Leicestershire were still 19 behind when Abbas gave Palladino his 5th wicket, caught by Madsen for 1, with Assad stranded on 46. 120 all out was a major disappointment for the home side. Palladino with 5 for 29 and Van Beek with 3 wickets for 7 runs in the morning session. An early lunch was taken and then extended as rain delayed the start of Derbyshire's second innings. Play finally got underway again at 2:45 and Godalming and Rees settled quickly, a boundary apiece as the lead grew to 40. And the visitors' advantage had passed 50 before the host made what looked like a crucial breakthrough. Rees's knock of 20 with 3 fours ended when he was caught behind off Davis. But that brought in Madsen, who was the only Derbyshire batsman to make any kind of score in their first innings. He was quickly into his stride again, and along with Godalming stretched the lead towards 3 figures. Madsen did the bulk of the scoring in a partnership of 40, but lost his skipper when Abbas had Godalming brilliantly caught behind by Hill for 23. But while Madsen was there, Derbyshire's position continued to strengthen. He hit 11 fours in his half-century, but that's as far as he got, Abbas removing him for 51 as Horton took the catch at first slip. And the home side continued to fight back. Tom Leics next to go, pushing too firmly at a Chris Wright delivery, the bowler taking a sharp catch. And that sparked a rather familiar Derbyshire collapse. With just 1 run added, Hughes chopped a right delivery onto his stumps and was gone for 2. And Critchley soon departed as well, gone for a 5-ball duck, caught behind off Klein. Hossain and Anuj Dal batted nervously towards stumps, but they didn't quite make it. Dal was bowled by Davis for 5 in the gathering gloom. And with the score still on 159, the momentum really swung towards the home side when Hossain edged Abbas behind for Hill's 4th catch of the innings. The batsman not happy with the decision, but his was the 8th wicket to fall since tea. Derbyshire finally reached stumps at 160 for 8, a lead of 179, which might already be enough in this low-scoring game. Either way, we should see a finish on day 3. Rain intervenes on day 3 to halt exciting run chase. For the second day running, 14 wickets fell at Grace Road as Leicestershire were bowled out for 120 to concede a first innings deficit of 19. A half-century from Wayne Madsen helped Derbyshire reach 160 for 8 at stumps, and the home side faced a tricky run chase on day 3. Clearly, Leicestershire's first priority was to limit the visitors' lead by taking those last 2 wickets. But overnight pair Van Beek and Palladino had other ideas. They added 30 to the total, with the Derbyshire paceman holding his own before his was the 9th wicket to fall, Palladino LBW to right for 11. Along with last man Rampal, Van Beek frustrated the home attack and stretched the lead beyond 200. Finally, he played 1 attacking shot too many, and Klein uprooted his leg stump for his 200th first-class wicket. Derbyshire 214 all out, with Madsen having scored the first 50 of the game. For the second innings running, Abbas and Wright took 3 wickets each, Klein and Davis 2. Leicestershire required 234 to win, the biggest score of the match, and the target hadn't got much smaller when Derbyshire's bowling hero of the first innings struck again, Palladino having Atiq Javid caught behind for 5. And worse soon followed for the home side. Skipper Horton dragged a delivery from Rampal onto his stumps, and the score was 24 for 2. Hassan Azad and Mark Cosgrove edged that up to 39 for 2 at lunch, but still almost 200 runs needed. When play resumed, the pair accumulated steadily, with Cosgrove a little more expansive than his partner as the stand passed 50. Leicestershire needed a breakthrough, and their batting hero delivered it, Madsen removing Cosgrove for 28, with Van Beek taking the catch. At 82 for 3, still 152 more required, and the match was in the balance. Ackerman signalled his intent with a couple of early boundaries, but he couldn't develop it into a match-winning innings. He was bowled by Rees for 10. The home side needed someone to stay with Assad, who'd carried his bat in the first innings. Dearden at least managed to do that until tea, which came with Leicestershire 110 for 4, with 124 needed, and an exciting final session in prospect. But sadly that didn't materialise thanks to rain which set in during tea and prevented any more play. Happily, this match has moved so quickly that a result is still likely on day 4, with both sides pushing for the victory. Derbyshire's bowlers worked fast to secure victory before lunch. Only 2 sessions of play were possible at Grace Road, but that was enough to set up an exciting finish on day 4. Leicestershire closed on 110 for 4, needing 124 more for victory, with 6 wickets required for Derbyshire. Much better conditions on the 4th morning, and the home side's best hope was for Hassan Assad to carry his bat as he did in the first innings. Instead, he fell without adding to his overnight score of 44, edging Rees to Madsen. And the bowler looked to be making the decisive contribution when he struck again 5 runs later. Dearden LBW for 11, and Leicestershire still needed 106 to win. And in the very next over, their plight worsened, Klein edging Van Beek to slip, where Critchley juggled the ball more than once before hanging on to the catch. Derbyshire were into the tail, but Hill and Wright added 16 precious runs before it was Ram Paul's turn to strike for the visitors, Leicester's keeper edging to his opposite number Hussain for 6. With 84 still required, the home side were now definitely second favourites, and that was certainly the case in Ram Paul's next over, when Hussain took another catch, this time to remove Davis. Mohammed Abbas and Chris Wright resisted bravely for a spell, but Derbyshire's standout bowler Palladino had the last word, emphatically bowling Abbas to wrap up the Leicestershire innings for 168. The visitors had taken 6 wickets in 90 minutes for 58 runs to secure their second championship win of the season. Not a match the batsmen on either side will remember fondly, with only 1 half-century in the entire game, but Derbyshire won't mind too much as they wrap up 19 points. Leicestershire take just 3.